YouTube. What's up, baby? We're back in this thing again with another review. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and today we're going to be talking about Hawkeye Episode 5, entitled Ronin. Let's go, baby. So you already know. Premise, 3 favorite scenes, grade, and then we on to the next one, baby. So, let's do it. So we start off in 2018. You see Yelena. She's after this. You don't know it at the time, but she's the person that she's after. She happens to be a widow. You know what I'm saying, like a black widow mercenary. So her and her partner go after this girl named Anna. They fight her or whatever, and they end up using the mind control antidote that Natasha was able to find on a Black Widow movie. You know what I'm saying? And they use it on her, and she's like tripping that it made a stain on their carpet, and they're like, yo, you must have not been hypnotized or whatever. You must have not been brainwashed. And she's like, no, like, what makes you guys think I was brainwashed or whatever? And they were obviously wrong. And so then, we go and we see Elena actually go into Anna's bathroom, and as she's looking in the mirror, she disappears and then reappears. And when she reappears, all of the painting in the bathroom has been changed. So it obviously means that time has passed. She goes out, she sees a guy and a girl, like probably like a 5-year-old girl, and she's like, what the heck, I was just in Anna's house. How did this happen? And they're like, who are you? Whatever, da 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 da. And then Anna pops out. She's like, hey, like, it's been like 5 years. Like, where'd you go? Da da da. So obviously you're seeing that Yelena disappeared in the blip when Thanos snapped his finger. She was one of the people that was affected by it. And of course, it seemed like a second to her when she disappeared and reappeared, but we obviously know it was 5 years that happened during between that time. So yeah, that was the beginning of it. So then we go to Kate, and Kate comes home and explains what happened to her mom, as far as like, the whole fight on the rooftop with, Echo and Yelena, even though she didn't know it was Yelena at the time. And, her and her mom have a little talk, and it's basically like, her mom is just trying to make sure that her daughter's good. And, as they're talking, Kate's mom, she ends up hearing from Kate that, hey, you know what? Your boyfriend is a bad dude. Like, we found out some stuff about him. Like, you really need to be careful or whatever. Like, please look into it. So the mom is like, you know what? I'm going to look into it. But you do me a favor. You go get your stuff from your old apartment. You come back over here. You come back and move with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this hero business it's not something that you need to be concerned with. So that, and then, so then we go to Kazi, and Kazi is talking to Echo, and they talk about what happened, and he tells her, like, they talk about what happened, like the fight on the rooftop. She's telling him, like, hey, I fought against Hawkeye, I fought against Kate, but there was another girl there. I don't think she was with them, so, like, something's going on. And so Kazi's like, you know what, like, we need to really drop this. I'll tell you what, we'll find Ronin, we'll kill Ronin. After that, I'm done. You do what you want, but after that, I'm done. So, that's the whole agreement between the two at that point. And then Kate goes to her old apartment, and she's trying to collect all the stuff, and she ends up running into Yelena. And Yelena and Kate have a talk. They have a talk. They fill each other out for a second, and then they get to the meat of it. And basically, Yelena tells Kate that I'm going to kill Hawkeye because he's the reason that my sister's dead. And Kate is trying to reason with her and try to let her know that like Hawkeye would have never do anything like that on purpose. Like he's a good dude, despite any of the things that may have happened in his past. You know, him being Ronin and just whatever else. Like he's a good person. Like down in the middle and at the center of it all, he's a good person. So you know you might want to do your homework and make sure that you're doing the right person a favor, because she got hired to kill Hawkeye. And we obviously know that the people that hired her, they're not necessarily bad, but they're not necessarily good. So, you know, but that's how that ends. She basically is telling Kate that, you know, I'm gonna kill Hawkeye and then, you know, stay on my way type stuff. And then we have Hawkeye goes to go see Grills. And you know, they talk for a second, whatever. Yelena tells Kate that I'm sorry. Kate's mom gets Jack arrested, and after that, Kate calls Hawkeye and is trying to let him know, like, hey, you know, Jack is arrested. Hey, just trying to catch up with him, fill up on some certain things that, you know, she wants him to know that he talked to Yelena, and you know, she's, you know, we got to talk about it, you know, but he's not picking up his phone, so she's leaving like a whole bunch of messages. And then after that, Hawkeye ends up sending a message to Echo, like, hey, look, let's meet up at that place that you first saw Ronin that night, where your father was killed, and come alone. And so after that, Hawkeye makes a call to his wife, lets her, you know about the situations that just recently occurred, and letting her know that, you know, like, hey, there's a big dude that above us that can get into it, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to keep him from getting into it. And at first you're like, what are you talking about, you know? But you end up finding out who he's talking about at the end of the episode. So anyways, Echo meets with Hawkeye, and of course she's not alone. So he's dressed as Ronin. So Hawkeye takes all the minions, and then Echo and him have a fight. And then afterwards he gets the upper hand, and he's talking to her, and he's like, look, like, you're being brainwashed to do this. You shouldn't be this way. I understand how you're feeling, because I did the same thing. And sometimes, you know, good people can get caught into the wrong thing, and you know, they can seem like bad people, but deep down inside, they're not really that. You know what I'm saying? They're just getting caught up in the moment of doing things that, you know, they shouldn't necessarily do, but that doesn't necessarily make them a bad person, you know? And he tells her, like, you know, look, like, it was me. So he takes off the hood, and now she knows that Hawkeye was Ronin. And so, but he tells her, like, the person that told me to kill, you know, the person that hired me to kill your father and the henchmen, you know, it was like your boss or whatever type thing. And she's like, she doesn't believe him, but she kind of does at the same time. And so as they're talking, Echo basically ends up getting the upper hand as he's talking to her. And then Kate's on the rooftop and shoots an arrow, letting her know, like, hey, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't try nothing slick, or else I'm gonna cap you real quick with this arrow. And then so Echo runs off. Hawk and Kate meet up and they talk. So after that, you have Echo goes to talk to Kazi, and she's talking to him about the night that her father got, you know, killed. And she's like, you know, why weren't you there at that meeting or whatever? And he's explaining to her, but you can kind of tell that he's lying. And so by the end, he just says, like, I never got the call, you know, what is this about, you know? And she's like, nothing. So now she is probably believing what Hawkeye said, and knows that Kazi had something to do with her father's death. Like, it was an inside job, you know what I'm saying? And then Kate talks to Hawk about Yelena, and he knows who the Yelena is, obviously. And so, you know, once she just says her name, you know, she actually says, you know, that's Natasha's sister. And he's like, Yelena, and then, like, you know, they just he just understands. He understands, you know. And then you see, we go fast forward and you see Elena is following Kate's mom, and you're like, what's going on? Why she's following Kate's mom? She follows Kate's mom to a building, and then after that, she texts Kate and is like, I just thought you should know who hired me to do this. And when she tells her that, she looks at the she tells her who it was, and it's actually was Kate's mom was the one that hired to Yelena to, I guess, like kill Hawkeye. And then she also sends her a picture, and it's a picture of her and the Kingpin from the Netflix series Daredevil. Same actor, same character. So obviously he's going to be in this now, and not necessarily in this show, but just like, he's part of the Marvel universe, just as Daredevil's part of the Marvel universe because of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man movie that just came out. So we'll see how many more characters come in from those shows, and we'll just see what they do with it, and so that's basically it, man. Kate shows the phone to Hawkeye, and he notices that, yo, that's your mom, and she's talking to Kingpin, and he's like, that's the person I was trying to keep out of this whole situation. So we'll see what happens for episode 6, the last episode, the final episode. But I will say that I definitely enjoyed this episode the most out of out of the 5 episodes that are available to watch now. I enjoyed the 5th one the most. They're definitely headed in the right direction towards the very end. The thing that made this episode to me was honestly Yelena. If it wasn't for Yelena, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. But having her in it, man, just it really set the tone off. And then also throwing in Kingpin towards the end, that really set the tone. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that Echo is part of that Daredevil universe also as well. You know what I'm saying? So they did a pretty good job with this one. So 3 of my favorite scenes would be Yelena and Kate talking. That was so funny. And it's just crazy that Yelena's not even necessarily telling jokes. She's just talking. She's just being herself. And it's just funny, bro. It's mad funny, bro. But that whole banter was dope, bro. And then after that would be the Ronin and an Echo fight. That was dope as well. That was dope. Yeah, that was dope, man. And then the last thing would just be, Yelena telling Kate that, hey, your mom was the one that hired me, and she's working with this dude, and you see the picture, and it's Kingpin. So those would probably be my 3 favorite scenes of this episode. Like I said, this was the strongest episode to me out of all 5 of them. So to me, I'm gonna get this an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for sure. So we'll have to see what happens next week for the final episode. If you guys saw the episode, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Let me know which was your favorite episode. Was this your favorite episode, or was any of the previous ones your favorite episode? Have you not run into your favorite episode yet? Maybe that'll be next week. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, baby, this is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and until next time.